All right, welcome to our famous YouTube Shorts strategy. This is how we get industry-leading results with YouTube Shorts. As you can see here on the screen, first we had a cold YouTube campaign with YouTube Shorts, where we have generated 388,513 kroner in revenue from, with a ROAS of 7.79. And then we have a demand gen retargeting campaign here, which primarily runs on with YouTube Shorts, which has generated 274,791 Danish kroner with a ROAS of 23.85. In this video, I'll break down our strategies to how we run ads profitably on YouTube Shorts, which is a completely blue ocean. We see so many clients who are spending huge budgets on of course, Google, TikTok, Meta, but YouTube Ads is not really getting used that much. And most people who are running it are not running it correctly. They're just copying the created from TikTok, from Meta, running it on Google, which can be like there's some things in that is actually all right, which I'll get into later in this video. But the settings, the scaling, they have no idea on actually how to run it on Shorts, on YouTube Ads. This I'll break down in this video, how we get industry-leading results with YouTube Ads, and more specific with YouTube Shorts. So the first thing is YouTube, as you probably know, is a CPM paradise. We see much cheaper CPM prices on YouTube than we see on Meta and TikTok. Here we have a CPM price of 46 on the YouTube campaign here for one of our clients, which on Meta TikTok is around double the price on this specific client. So in general, we get really cheap CPM prices on YouTube, which you probably know if you've been running it before, which makes, of course, you're getting a lot cheaper views. And the reason for that is simply there's less competition. That's why you get a cheaper CPM price. For the YouTube, this is the reason why the YouTube Ads is so good. Because it mixes really well with the full Google funnel when you're running Google Ads. You have a really smart retargeting when you're running YouTube with your Google Ads. You have really good retargeting when they're clicking on the shopping ad, they're staying in the ecosystem here, and you can retarget them right after on YouTube. It gives you a lot more data to work with, but when you're also targeting them on YouTube, much more data to work with in your overall setup. And it will often also boost your ROAS on the other campaigns with YouTube because it just plays so good in the full Google funnel, which we're seeing on so many clients where we're both getting a good ROAS on YouTube, but at the same time, we also see a big difference on the other campaigns when we're increasing the budget on Google because it's such a top funnel on YouTube, because it's such a top funnel awareness stage we are targeting. We have YouTube here, which can also be, we have the full funnel here. YouTube can be all kind of stages in the funnel, as I also just showed. We had retargeting as well for the demand gen, but it can target all kind of stages, which is one of the key differences from YouTube and the rest of the Google funnel. Google in general is more much more bottom funnel. You can also target like middle funnel, but it's very hard to do much top funnel with normal Google Ads with PMAX, shopping, and search. But with YouTube, we can actually hit the full funnel, which opens up a much bigger market here in the Google funnel, where often people are only targeting this top funnel on Meta, and it opened up a completely new opportunity for us when we also target with YouTube Ads in our Google funnel. So the different stages we are in is often it's very hard to hit the around 60% of your market is often they're not aware of this problem which your product solves, and these people can often be very hard to target with shopping ads, search ads, but this is where YouTube Ads are coming into play, and this is a huge portion of the market which we can actually now hit target with Google Ads, with YouTube Ads. I often say Google Ads, which is the overall Google, because YouTube is part of the Google network. But I mean, with the YouTube here, we can target now the 60% that we normally have a very hard time on targeting with our shopping, our search ads, which often is more for Meta. We can actually do it with YouTube when done correctly. And this is an extremely important stage to also hit because it's such a large portion of the market which is in the stage. As I showed you here, it's around 60% of the market is often not aware of the problem the product solves. So now we have a much bigger market to actually target. And this is the cold stages. People who are not problem aware and people who are just figured out they have this problem which the product solves. And this is where our YouTube Ads come into play. The consideration stages is often where we're targeting with our shopping and search ads. Information gathering mode, for example, they're searching up your product, comparing it to the different competitors, figure out what exactly your product does, and all of this, which is mostly like shopping and search ads. And then in the buying now, so shopping and search ads where we focus on like buy now, quick shipping, all of this. And this is often where we normally most people are only targeting with the Google Ads. When we put our YouTube Ads into the funnel as well, we actually target the full funnel, which is one of the key problems with most brands that are trying to scale on Google, is because they're only targeting a small portion of the market. So For YouTube ads, if we want to target the full market, we need to run YouTube ads. And how do we set this campaign up? How do we set it up with the structure? So I'll just give you some settings here, because this is one of the biggest problems I often see with YouTube. People are not really sure of what kind of ads to run, how to set it up, what goals to use, and all this. So I'll just go through some of the settings. So the goals should always be maximize conversions. You'll put a target CPA on later when you have 30 conversions or more in 30 days, then start using a target CPA. And this is where you can actually scale. You exclude desktop, tablet, and TV for the shorts, which I'm talking about right now, YouTube Shorts. If you not run normal YouTube ads, then you include the desktop. But for shorts, only use mobile. So exclude desktop, tablet, and TV, because shorts perform much better on phones. Format, only use vertical only, because it's a short campaign we're talking about right now. Structure, separate the campaigns for prospecting, retargeting, and then also upselling to existing customers. And the reason why we want to separate them is because we want to take our budgets, the kind of creatives we're running, the kind of budgets. We just want to make sure that we have separated. Of course, I mean, pretty obvious. The creative tips, if I had some of the tips here. Know your audience, make it hyper relevant to them. I mean, if you're only running Google, like with shopping and search, often you don't have much of an idea what your audience actually are buying for, because you're mostly just focusing on the people that are buying right now, but you're not really that sure often about the exact problems which your audience have. So often when you start to run YouTube, you have to go much more into the psychology of your consumer, what exactly problem they have, what other options they've tried before, because this is the only way you'll be able to create the best possible creatives for them. If you're already running meta ads, then you probably know a lot more about your audience than most people I see with the Google Ads audiences. And also with make it hyper relevant to them, I also mean regarding what kind of campaigns is for. For the cold campaigns, we need a much different creatives, of course, than for the retargeting and for the upsell, because this is people who know you, people who have bought from you before, and people who don't know you at all. So of course you need to know your different audiences, why they bought before, what they are buying after they have bought from you one time, what is their first purchase, to figure out how to do these kind of creatives for different campaign structures. Then native UGC often works really, really well. Voiceovers, walkthroughs also work really, really well. We need to have some light music. Like all of this is pretty basic knowledge. I just give it anyway. And then we need to have some short text overlays, of course. One thing we also need to do here with the YouTube Shorts, which is different from Meta and Instagram. Often you can copy paste a lot of which is working there, but we have a longer hook on YouTube than you have on Meta. Because Meta often you have 1 to 2 seconds to catch people's attention. But here with YouTube, we have 5 full seconds before they can skip the ad. And this gives us a lot more time for the hook, which can make a bit difference if we change up the hook a little bit more, a little bit longer than what we do on TikTok and Facebook, a little bit less fast paced in the first 5 seconds. Where on Instagram, TikTok, we really need to hit it right away, the attention. So we can make the hooks a little bit longer, change it up a little bit with the hook. And then at the end, we need to have a longer CTA than what you're probably used to on Facebook, Instagram, because on YouTube, after they have seen your video, after they've seen the ad, they see this ad and they're gonna watch a video, and then their video will automatically play around 3 to 5 seconds after they see the ad, which sometimes is not enough seconds to click for them for the CTA, because then the video starts and that's their attention getting away. So what we often do is add a CTA at 5 seconds, in which when the video is done, which is just a black screen, or even better, an end card, which is your USPs, which is just like click on the bottom now, and then you'll have the USPs under, and this is just a screen for 5 seconds. This gives us much more time for people to actually click on the ad before their video just auto plays, which will distract their attention completely. So add an extra CTA. For example, if you take your meta ads, just add a 5-second extra CTA at the end, where it's just a screen that is just like frozen, which gives off a lot more time, which will improve your click through rate a lot. So that's a really, really good creative tips. Besides that, you can use a lot of your content from Meta and TikTok. As I said, just do these changes with the hook a bit and the CTA, and then you can just go and use your best performers. If you're already running the ads on Meta and TikTok, take that one. For the budget and scaling, let's say you're probably wanting to run the YouTube Shorts when you already have a full Google setup. Start with 10 to 50% of the budget for the YouTube Shorts campaign. Don't take more than this. Less than this will also probably be a little bit too low. 10 to 15% is pretty good benchmark to have. And then wait 7 to 14 days between budget changes. YouTube is a little bit slow. We don't want to really change up much with the budget changes. So take 10 to 15%, let it run for at least 7 to 14 days. And before you really do some more changes, change up the budget, launch new ads, give it a lot of time. YouTube is a little bit slow. Of course, depending on what you compare it with. If you're normally used to waiting 1 month, then it's not that slow, but compared to when we run Meta Ads' algorithm is often little bit much quicker, not just a little bit, but pretty much quicker, which you don't have to wait 7 to 15 days between. You can really change up things, but YouTube be a little bit more patient. Switch to target CPA before scaling, but only when you have 30 conversions. So first, yeah, as I said also before, use maximize conversions, get to 30 plus conversions, switch to target CPA, and then just start scaling your budget with the target CPA. Your target CPA will make it very stable when scaling, because if it cannot hit the target CPA when you're scaling, then often will not be spending the whole budget, which makes YouTube a really more stable channel compared to, for example, when you're scaling Meta Ads, which often just drops off completely because you don't really use target CPAs on Meta. So that's one really good things we have on Google is the target CPA, which often works very good. Targeting framework, use first-party email uploads, people who purchase from you before remarketing, people who remarketing, sorry, that's just a fly here. Yeah, remarketing people who visited your website, people who did X action on your website, added to cart, etc., depending on what kind of options you have on your website. Test a lot of different audiences. The ads will also perform completely different. The creatives you have compared to the funnel compared to what stage they're in, if they visit the website compared to add to the cart. Test a lot of different remarketing, of course. Use custom audiences here. I'll often recommend where people, for example, search it on X thing on Google. You can use that where people, if they search for example, a search term on Google Ads or a similar search term to that, then we retarget that in a cold traffic campaign. This can be, let's say you're selling supplements, then you can target people who are selling how to boost testosterone, natural testosterone boosting, something like that. Target that, of course, if you're selling supplements. Use this mostly in the custom audiences here where you're using the search terms, and then use optimized targeting as well, especially one ad group that often works really well for us that we go into, take all of our customers, all our previous conversions, all of these people upload their emails, we set them in a YouTube ad group, and then we used optimized targeting for this. This will often perform really well. So I'll definitely recommend this. In general, optimized targeting is actually pretty good here on YouTube. Besides these kind of ad groups, also just run a broad one, test that versus the interest-based ones. Really depending on the product, some clients we see really good performance just broad. If you have a more niche product, then often can be a little bit better to have interest-based, of course. But in a lot of cases, broad is performing really well, which is probably the same you're seeing on Meta if you're running there. YouTube Shorts is the best kept secret in performance marketing. I will say that without a doubt. Everyone is fighting on Meta, TikTok, extremely high CPM prices. CPM prices keep rising. They also do on YouTube, but they're still much lower right now than on the other channels. Everyone is running ads on all channels, especially the larger brands, which is a lot of them we are working with, where YouTube is often really untapped, and the brands that are working with YouTube are doing it without really knowing how to do it. So go out, try YouTube Shorts, use 10 to 15% of your budget, 14 days, see what kind of performance it gets you, see what kind of results you get, and then scale from there. If you do it right and you have some good creatives, you're good with working with your creatives, then you should be getting some really good results with YouTube Shorts. If you do want a more tailored plan for your exact brand, then you can schedule a free call right under this video. This is not a sales call, so you can keep your credit card in your wallet. This will more be what I will do if I was running your brand, do a strategy for you compared to the brands that we have running YouTube Shorts for before. So click the link down below if you want a free strategy plan for your brand on YouTube Shorts, and then I'll jump on a call with you, give my best tips for you, and all my knowledge tailored more to your exact brand. So that's everything from this video. Hope you have a fantastic day.